Hey, it is really cool to meet you, but I got to get this out of my system right off the top. Bertie's a jerk, man.
Yes, he is a jerk. Bertie becomes King Edward VII, or Eddie VII, as I call him. And if you want to become king, in the hereditary privilege system, which you guys had a war about and said, no, we disagree with that. And I know America does not believe in monarchy unless pretty monarchy turns up. And then you lose your lunch over. Because I was there when Diana turned up. Diana's here, but she's monarchy, you're against. No, we're not, it's Diana. So I understand it's kind of a different thing. But Bertie, he wanted to be king, and this guy, Abdul Karim, had a relationship with Queen Victoria, gave her an extra lease of life. And so no wonder he is angry about this guy. She's joyous, Queen Victoria, the wonderful Judi Dench playing Queen Victoria, bringing all this joy and life to this woman who is, as you see at the beginning of the film, eating herself to death, collapsing, bored and depressed, and suddenly she's coming back. And so my character is not a nice character.
Is it fun playing the mean guy, the tough guy, the...
I tell you what, there is an interest, I have another day job where I do a bit of comedy, and if you come from comedy, there's a slightly psychotic nature of comedy because you hit extremes, and then you come to play a character that's a dark character that hits extremes. There is a sort of linkage there, but if you don't put in your third dimension, if you don't humanize them in some way, it can just seem like a wall of no. And the fact is, the deathbed, there was a connection between Bertie and his mother for maybe half an hour over a lifetime of 60 years. They only connected for half an hour when she was going and she called for him, and they connected. And I tried to bring that to that final death scene, but the rest of the time he is just fighting her tooth and nail.
I'm going to tell you, like I've told everybody, including your director, this is my #1 film at TIFF this year.
All right.
I love this movie.
Great, I do too.
And I absolutely love the fact that you're a history buff, and maybe that was one of the reasons that drew you to this role?
Well, absolutely, but really first and foremost, Stephen Frears says, do you want to be in a film that I'm doing, you're playing a blade of grass, and you're in for 1 second? You kind of go, yes. And Judi Dench is in it as well? Yes, I'm doing it. What is the role? Well, you're a guy with a banjo who's dead, It doesn't really matter. But then Bertie, because if you know where my career goes, it's such a weird career, most people can't deal with it. But to get to here and then him to say, yes, you're going to play this guy, I had to put on 12 kilos, there's tailoring, movement, the whole different way I moved, lowering my voice right down into my bass tones, and then going face to face with Judi, toe to toe, and hammering away at each other. It was great to do. I would have done it. I would do it all over again.
You would have played the blade of grass.
I would have played the blade.
When I walked in the room, I mentioned I'm from Houston, Texas, and you said Sam Houston.
Sam Houston.
Tell me what...
Well, Sam Houston, he was there. There was a certain civil war that still causes ructions there, but he'd said, guys, this isn't really going to work out for the South. Interesting, a guy from the South, because you don't hear much about them, do you? No matter which side you take it, you don't hear much about the people who said, actually, I'm not sure if this is a good idea going into this civil war. And he was a guy who was saying that. And unfortunately, he died just as the war began, I believe. Yeah. But he must have been, obviously, Houston's named after him.